Welcome to the 2019 State of the City. I'm Mayor David Uran, and welcome to Crown Point. Before we start here, I believe the staff here at St. Peter and Paul Church has done a fantastic job once again. Let's give them a round of applause for all the excellent food you're eating here tonight. And especially, let's not forget about the people working hard in that place in the back room that's providing you guys some beverages, and make sure we take care of them tonight as well, okay? Before we get started here again, just some housekeeping things. How many people took the trolley in? Okay, one person. We had 2 trolleys for 1 person. That worked out just fine. If you're going to take the trolley, again, as the program ends, we'll make sure that you guys make some announcements where the trolley will pick you up and take you back, so that way you don't have to leave immediately after my 3-hour speech, okay? And you'll be able to stay here, continue to network. But that's what this is all about. It's about hearing about the great things that's happening in the city of Crown Point. It's about the teamwork, and it's about networking, and you get to know your extended family here and the partnerships that we have in our city of Crown Point. And that's what tonight's all about. Before we begin tonight, though, I do want to go ahead and recognize some people and some businesses who took the time to help underwrite this event for everybody here tonight. We'll start with our platinum sponsors, Franciscan Health of Crown Point, Reith Riley, and I-65 Beacon Hill Partners. Let's put our hands together for our platinum sponsors. Thank you very much. Our gold sponsors, and it's a long list, so if you can hold your applause until I read them all, and this might get you probably through your dinner and dessert here. It's a long list. Alex Nicola, Northwest Indiana Media, Building Indiana, Calumet Breweries, CarStar, List Auto Body, Carpenters 1005, Commonwealth Engineering, Community Foundation of Northwest Indiana, Construction Advancement Foundation, Core Construction, Coyne Veterinarian Center, Cross Property Management, CSO Architect. I sponsored as well. You could applaud that now, but just hold that applause. Diversified Marketing Strategies, DVG Incorporated, Duzak Associates, Casvoda Associates, Hassey Construction, Heartland Title Services, IBEW Local 697, Indiana Beverage, Iron Workers Local 395, International Union of Painters, and Allied Trades District Council 91, Kopka Pincus Dolan, Attorneys at Law, MJ Electric, Meridian Title Corporation, NIPSCO, Northwest Indiana Building Construction Trades Council, Ozinga, Phil & Son, Pinnacle Hospital, Pipe Fitters Local 597, Sesco Group, Sheet Metal Workers Union Local 20, Siltworm, the Pangier Corporation, Times Media, Troy Electronics, Walsh & Kelly, Westside Tractor Sales, White Rhino Bar and Grill, WJOB, and they're streaming live here. So thank you, WJOB, to put us out there on the web and Facebook Live. Those are it's Prime Parking Solutions. So let's give them a round of applause for being our gold sponsors. Our silver sponsors are Brico Services, Citizens-Elect Dave Benson, Citizens-Elect Lisa Beck, First Midwest Bank, Geison's Funeral Homes, Greater Indiana Title Company, Huberger Landscape, Journey Senior Living, Kwiatkowski Masonry, and I Spanos Painting. Let's give them a round of applause as well. Our bronze sponsors are Adams Radio Group, WZVN 107.1, The Z, Calumet Lumber, Crown Brewing, Rosati's Pizza, Edward Jones, Michael Dexter, Walker Construction, Glass America, and Patello and Crane Orthodontics. Round of applause for them as well. So our program tonight is we're going to go ahead and start some of our awards. And we're going to recognize some, as we do each and every year, some of the businesses and their longevity. And we're recognizing 5 businesses tonight that were 35 years or longer and have been in business with the city of Crown Point. As I call your name, if there's representation here, please come forward. Oh, we're going to youth. We have a program change. We're going to go to community service first, right? Youth services, right? For our community service? Okay. Our community, okay, here we go. I got the change now. All right. So, we're going to recognize some of our next and brightest students from the Crown Point High School that provided a tremendous amount of hours of community service. And they did this on their own to be able to give back to the community, not ask for any recognition, and obviously not coming here tonight looking for any financial support. But we thought, based on this community working well with one another, that we should start to recognize people at that age who give back at a high level. So we've partnered with the Community Foundation and the City of Crown Point. Collectively, each one of these students will receive a $500 award tonight for their college of their choice for their hard efforts. And we are going to go with our first student who had 351 hours. And if we can have representation from the school come up here as well. I know Dr. Teresa Iman is here, the principal, Chip Pettit, is here as well, and the school board president, Dave Warney, to come up here and be part of this excellent celebration of these two young students doing it at a very high level. So if they can come forward as well. And we're going to watch a quick video on each one of these students. And the first one, Afan Atif, will be our first one who logged in 351 hours of extra time over and beyond his normal activities.
Afan Atif noticed there was a shortage of volunteers at the hospital, especially younger help. He accepted the challenge to get involved, not only to help people, but to familiarize himself with the environment. Afan plans to go into the medical field. He spent most of his volunteer hours volunteering at St. Mary's Medical Center. He helps get patients to and from their doctor's appointments and testing. He helps out wherever he is needed. Afan has also volunteered with the Latin Summer Camp and highway cleanups. He has combined to volunteer for over 351 community service hours.
Afan, you'd like to come forward, please. Mary Nielsen as well from the Community Foundation. Please come forward. One more round of applause for Afan. Nice job. Our next student, Haley Hughes. And again, this is not a competition, okay? But it sort of is, but it's not. But Haley logged in 530 hours, okay? An incredible amount of hours there. And so if Haley can come forward here, and we're going to watch a quick video of Haley's accomplishments here.
Haley Hughes really enjoys volunteering and giving back, not just in Crown Point, but around the world. Throughout high school, many of her volunteer hours have been from mission trips including Puerto Rico, Haiti, Texas, and Zimbabwe. During these trips, she hung drywall, organized a vacation Bible study with children, and worked with mothers and children at a prenatal clinic. She enjoys volunteering locally at events such as Feed the Flock, an annual back-to-school block party at a local church, and the Easter egg extravaganza. During Haley's 4 years at Crown Point High School, she has also participated in several club activities, such as the Angel Wing Project, care packages for veterans, and painting ornaments with seniors at the local nursing home. When Haley volunteers, she not only impacts the lives of others, but her life is positively impacted as well. Haley has combined to volunteer over 530 hours. Haley Hughes.
One more round of applause for Haley Hughes. Fantastic. All right, I'm going to make sure. Business longevity. There we go. I can just read in front of me. All right. We're going to go back to our business longevity, and we're going to recognize 5 of our local businesses that have achieved 35 years or more time here in the city of Crown Point providing you services. The first one is Charles and Kisassa Insurance with 36 years. And representatives from Charles and Kisassa, please come forward and receive your award. Give them a round of applause. Charles and Kisassa Insurance. The next one with 37 years could not be here tonight, but we are going to recognize Dr. Mark. Oh, we have a video. Oh. Let me get out of the way here.
Charles and Kisassa Insurance started in business on February 10, 1983 with partners Doug Charles and Ron Kisassa. The agency conducts business in Indiana and Illinois, selling and servicing auto, home, business, life, annuities, and health insurance as an independent insurance agency representing a variety of companies in order to offer the best choices for its clients. Part of the success of the agency is the result of extensive previous insurance training pursued by both Doug and Ron in the principles of insurance, its management, and sales. The agency benefits from their combined 90 years of experience in the industry. The stability of their business even extends to the office, situated in a home built in 1902, located at 408 North Main Street. According to Doug and Ron, their biggest success factor over the years has been the dedication, caring attitude, and superb customer service from an excellent staff, including Ron's daughter, Krista, and his son, Tony. Their strongest asset is their wonderful customer base, some of whom have been with them since the beginning. The firm's commitment to their customers includes conducting business ethically and treating clients with respect and courtesy as a local business, taking the time to talk to people face to face. Both Doug and Ron have been involved in various organizations on both local and state levels. Doug and Ron had to say the following: Crown Point has been an excellent base from which to build. We have advertised, volunteered, and of course enjoyed the assistance of many, many people from Crown Point who have helped us. Crown Point has been a warm and helpful place in which to do business, and as it continues to grow, it helps all businesses, not just ours. It's all been a great combination for multiple factors, helping us to navigate the many facets of our business encounters as we enjoy our success and step into the future.
Okay, next up, with 37 years of experience in the city of Crown Point, will be recognized, and unfortunately, Doctor couldn't be here tonight. Mark Van Buskirk has been in Crown Point for 37 years with his dentist practice, and recently has just now relocated on North Main Street at the old bank right next to Wendy's, and so there'll be a video.
Originally from Hammond, Dr. Mark Van Buskirk graduated from Donald E. Gavitt High School in 1973 and was a 1977 graduate of Wabash College in Crawfordsville, Indiana, before joining Dr. J. Robert Maiden as an associate in 1982. Dr. Van Buskirk purchased the practice in '91 and has been seeing patients at 250 North Main Street for 37 years. Working in tandem with Dr. Michael Krischke since 2008, Van Buskirk and Krischke recently relocated to 700 North Main, or the old Chase Building. Mark has been the chairman of the Lake County Board of Health for several years, is a master mason, and also is a member of ORAC Shrine. Dr. Mark has been involved with the local vintage automobile scene since he arrived in 1982. He has done several vintage car events in his antique autos, including racing at the Bonneville Salts Flats, in the desert of El Mirage Dry Lake, and at the Newport Hill Climb in Vermilion County, Indiana. You might see him driving around town in his 1940 Ford pickup, in which he traveled from coast to coast in reenactment of the original Cannonball Run.
Are we in order? Okay. The next one, unfortunately, couldn't be here tonight either, was Hair Shaper Salon with 47 years. And here's a quick video honoring their longevity here in the city of Crown Point.
Hair Shaper Salon, located at 114 Northwest Street, just off of the square, has been in business for 47 years in Crown Point. Owner Beverly James says that Crown Point has been an ideal place for a business like hers. It's a vibrant, growing community with a warm, small-town feel. She's made many lifelong friends through her hair salon on West Street and is very grateful to have been in the city of Crown Point.
Next up, with 47 years, Bill and Son here in Crown Point, and they can come forward and we'll present the award. You want to go with the video first? We'll go with the video first and then present the award.
Established in 1971, Phil and Son Inc. secures all types of buildings and is dedicated to keeping our community safe. Phil and Son Inc. provide peace of mind with state-of-the-art technology. Phil and Son Inc. is located at 871 North Madison Street.
And our last business longevity award recognition tonight is Rotor Machine and Tool, achieving 50 years this year, 50 years in business in the city of Crown Point.
Rotor Machine and Tool was founded in 1968 by Vernon and Barbara Rotor. When Vernon and Barbara retired in 2005, their son and daughter-in-law, Dan and Lori Rotor, purchased the business to become the second-generation owners. Since Dan and Lori have owned the business, the company has grown in size, capabilities, customer base, and quantity of orders manufactured yearly. They are proud of their development in manufacturing of fasteners in the United States. Rotor Machine and Tool manufacture many hard-to-find items. They are equipped with a complete machine shop, including CNC for custom and general machine work. All of their tools are made in-house for fast turnaround. Rotor Machine and Tool is not just another fastener manufacturer. They are a facility dedicating themselves to the needs of the fastener industry. Quality and service to their customers is number one for them. Rotor Machine and Tool is proud to say that all of their products are manufactured in the United States. They have shown their pride by labeling their products Made in the USA, Crown Point, Indiana.
One more round of applause for all our Longevity Award winners tonight. Next up, we're going to recognize a couple of our businesses, again, that went out and was really involved in the community and provide them some recognition because of the extra efforts they did. Not so much about the business model itself that they perform, about just giving back to the community itself. The first one we're going to be going with, if I follow the order here, will be Cafe Fresco. And we have a video here, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of coverage over this because Brianna's been making people's day each and every day by writing little notes on the backs of the coffee cups or giving away free coffee to get people excited about Crown Point and just in general giving good spirit back. And so let's watch a little bit of video here, and then we'll bring Brianna up here and give her recognition for doing something outside the typical business day of making citizens in Crown Point feel more welcome.
Cafe Fresco, located at 1 North Court Street in downtown Crown Point on the square, is not just your normal coffee shop. Since opening 6 years ago, owner Brianne Zolfo has every intention of spreading as much positivity as possible. Since Cafe Fresco has been around, they have encouraged customers to do positive acts of kindness. Brianne and Cafe Fresco believe that they have given away over 3,200 free cups of coffee by encouraging customers to spread random acts of kindness and by proving that they've done so through video or photo. One of the biggest ways that Brianne and Cafe Fresco spread positivity is by surprising customers by paying for their groceries. Brianne and Cafe Fresco do this by using the money from their tip jar. Also, on every cup of coffee, Cafe Fresco writes a personalized motivational quote in order to help boost your day when you get your cup of joe. Cafe Fresco encourages all customers and everyone local just to give back and to spread positivity. Brianne has said, quote unquote, "I just want to give back, no strings attached."
All right, I want you to act like this entire room is a cup of coffee wrapped around, and what would you put onto this to this crowd here tonight?
Now that I'm put on the spot, I don't know what to say, but I just want to say thank you to the community for the past 6 years because it's because of you guys that we've been able to do what we do and keep giving back to the community and helping the people that have made us what we are. So thank you to all of you for supporting us. Thank you.
Our last award tonight will be for I4D Event Services, and we're going to watch a video here about what they did. But before we start, just want to understand that they got involved this year with our Adopt a Family program, and we gave them a list of all our families that were out there. And typically what happens is when people get involved in Adopt a Family, they'll give a partial gift here and there to kind of fill in the gap that we're trying to achieve. This group, by its employees, went out and made sure that every person and every family that we had 12 families this year, got a gift. And these were gifts from bicycles to different backpacks to a lot of different high-level types of things. They did it on their own. They did it with the employees going out and doing all the shopping. It was an incredible gesture to this program here. So they are being recognized for their extra effort for community support this year, and we'll watch the video as well.
I4D Event Services donated to the City of Crown Point's Adopt a Family program in place of their own Christmas party this year. In 2018, the city had 11 families and 33 children. I4D Event Services donated gifts for every child and gave stockings for each family. They had staff participate from all over the country and fly in to help wrap gifts and present to the city. I4D Event Services is located at 1045 Millennium Drive in Crown Point.
I believe Cindy's here. I4D, everybody. Okay. Adam, were we right on schedule? Okay. All right. Well, again, we appreciate everybody being here tonight, and we're here to talk about some of the things that took place in the city of Crown Point. And before I begin tonight's State of the City, I would like to recognize our elected officials, our department heads. I would like to introduce our boards and commissions tonight. And if we can please hold all your applause until the end to recognize everybody. This is the team that's been assembled through your executive branch, legislative branch, judicial branch, boards and commissions who go out and take the information, work with our developers, our owners, our residential customers, and try to make their lives and their customer service life much better. I'll begin with my office, my chief of staff, Greg Falkowski, and my office manager, Mary Wise-Nora. They're common council representatives tonight, and I'm going to go ahead and list who they are and what other boards they're listed on. So if you don't hear their name on the other boards, because I'm going to do it all here at once with their name. Chad Jeffries is our 1st District Councilman, also our current Council President, and sits on the Planning Commission. Robert Clemens, 2nd District, Board of Works and Public Safety. Andrew Karras, our 3rd District, he's our Redevelopment Commission Chairman. Laura Sauerman, in the 4th District, also sits on and represents the Planning Commission. Carol Drozga, in the 5th District, also sits on the Redevelopment Commission. Scotty Vorg is at large, is on the Planning Commission, and TJ Wigmore, at large, is in charge of our monthly claims review. Let's give that group a round of applause. In our judicial branch, our own very own judge, Ken Sheffers, our clerk treasurer, Christy Dressel. Let's give them a round of applause as well. Serving on our Plan Commission. And if there's individuals on these boards that serve others, I will mention them all at once. John Marshall is our chairman of our Plan Commission, also sits on our board on zoning appeals. Dan Roy Haley is our vice chair on the Plan Commission, also is our chairman on the board of zoning appeals, and is also our representation on Historical Preservation Commission. Mike Conquest on the Plan Commission also serves as a board member on the Board of Public Works and Safety. And Richard Day. Let's give them a round of applause. Our Board of Zoning Appeals, Nick Docevich, Vice Chair, Alda Valentini, Jeremy Taylor, Christopher Myers. Round of applause. Historical Preservation Commission, Paul Bremer is our Chairman, Jim Kendall, Vice Chairman, Jolene Bollinger, Jim Krishman, Todd Cabela, Gary Kniezek, Richard Osterly, and Betty Roberts. A round of applause for our Historical Preservation Commission. Rounding out our Redevelopment Commission, Brad Bossy as our Secretary, Tom Kyleman, Aaron McDermott, Vice Chair, Tom Hoffman representing the school city of Crown Point. Give them a round of applause, please. Board of Public Works and Safety. I sit on that board as well. We have also members Jim Crook, Tim Grish. Give them a round of applause as well. Our legal department in the city of Crown Point, led by David H. Nichols, Alex Kutanowski, Joe Iraq, Mark Gruenhagen. Round of applause. We couldn't be here tonight with some of our staff not doing some extra efforts out here to make this night possible for you. I do want to start off by recognizing Diversified Marketing, led by Andrea Pyramid and her team, And just let you guys know that they work very hard to make your invitation, your process of being here tonight, streamlined. How many got notifications via either text or email? Put your hands up. Okay. They would just received a recognition by Constant Contact and received in the 2018 Solutions Provider Award for just doing what they did there, reaching out and doing extra efforts. So we have another award-winning company in the city of Crown Point doing things at a high level, doing things here in our city, but also being recognized in the nation for their efforts and how to put events together. Let's give them a round of applause. Also, our staff here today that did extra effort to make this happen, Diana Boss and Jenny Burgess and Adam Graper. Let's put their hands around for a round of applause for them as well. Thank you very much. So we're going to dive right into this. Okay, the City of Crown Point 2018, it's been exciting times. Over the last decade, you've seen a lot of different changes in the city. You know, we're growing. We're 183 years, so we're definitely growing up, right? And we do this by partnerships. We do this with residential help from our residents, our commercial base, our business owners, our visitors, a lot of different things that are out there to make the city great. The city of Crown Point has been recognized for the last 10 years in a row as the best city to live in Northwest Indiana. The best downtown for 11 years in a row. We're still chasing that 10 and 11, but we're poised, we believe, again, with your help and recognition, because all the positive things that are happening in the city of Crown Point, that we're going to go ahead and defend our leadership of Northwest Indiana. And I want to say thank you to everybody that's in this room, because you played a big part. The people that we listed in those boards and commissions and elected officials played their part, and it's a team. So let's put our hands together for a round of applause for you guys doing your part to make this one of the greatest cities to live in. Now I'm going to break this down a little bit by department, and we'll have the department heads stand up and talk, and I'll try to keep this brief, but it's difficult because you got to look at each one of these departments and look at their collective work, what they did in the past year, and then go ahead and put it on just one sheet of paper and kind of, talk about those individual accomplishments or those department accomplishments with all the employees that we have and the leadership from those departments all the way down to our workforce, who by any stretch of the mean will put up against any other community in the state of Indiana as one of the top working forces for any municipality that's out there. But the leaders of these departments deserve a little extra credit, because they're the ones that each and every day making those tough decisions to make sure they're doing things correctly, making sure that you're getting the efforts that you guys need. And I'm going to start off with one person, and we don't tend to pick one better over the other, but I would think when I go through this list here, each one of the department heads that follow this person would agree that this one person makes their life a lot easier. We live in a technical world today. Technology is number one. The iPhones, the Androids, Facebook, social media. We are in a now society. Back in the day, we used to be able to maybe pick the phone call up, leave a message, and somebody would get back to you in a timely fashion. Today, we live in a world that, it's been 5 minutes and you haven't called back. What are you doing? And Adam Graper, to me, has been the true MVP of the city and department head leadership because of all the IT stuff. Now, there was a lot of pressure on Adam because this stuff here you see out here tonight is supposed to work, and it did. So this speech really coincides based on this information here tonight. So, Adam, you were definitely, without knowing, on the hook here tonight. And here's something about Adam, though. He's a department of one. Okay? Think about that. All this technical stuff that goes on, computers, specialty things, cellular phones, our VIP city phones that are putting out there, our TV program, making sure that our meetings are being taped and putting out there for the public knowledge. Adam's in charge of this. Now, we do help Adam out with some outside consultant and contracting to help him do this. We also had some employees on a part-time basis when they have spare time come in and help Adam. But mostly, Adam's the one leading the charge to do all these things. And when Adam's report, he did want to recognize some employees, and I'm going to take this time to do that on Adam's behalf. Fire Department Division Chief Mark Baumgartner Jr. and Lieutenant Ryan Kuzak, GIS Coordinator Dan Nix, James Wolf and Carl Elton of On-Site Computers. Adam in the city wants to give them a special round of applause as well, because they do help pick up the slack for Adam where he's pulled from many, many different directions. Let's put our hands together on behalf of Adam, to the city, to those employees. Some of the highlights in the technology division: Adam was the leader on introducing and developing a municipal drone program for the city of Crown Point. So we actually have eyes in the sky, not watching you guys, but eyes in the skies out there looking for traffic stops, for traffic patterns in the city of Crown Point, for possible developments, making sure we're looking at zoning maps and different things. And Adam was the one that led the municipal drone program. He also assisted in development of the fire department ambulance billing software, which we'll get into the fire department here in a little bit, but having those ambulances out there and making sure that we're collecting those dollars back. Obviously, our care for them, the victim or the person in need is first, but there's a service that goes along with it, and we have to make sure that the correct things are bringing back to the city. Adam was very much involved in streamlining that capability. He also engineered and installed the technology infrastructure at Bulldog Park, and we all know where Bulldog Park is in the downtown. It's our next best thing coming to the city of Crown Point. Adam was involved in making sure the AV and security system was put in play, doing this with himself with the help of our on-staff electrician, Dean Lupke. Collectively, through Adam's leadership, saved the city about $75,000, and that ticker still going on that building, of money saved without having to outsource that, doing it in-house. $75,000. That's incredible. He needs a round of applause just for that alone, saving our taxpayer money. So even with all that going on, we said, Adam, you need to do more, okay? And Adam took on probably the largest technical program the city's ever seen in its history. And this started back in the 2017 when the municipal software, New World, was introduced in the city of Crown Point. This system will help you as the consumer be able to have better accounts payable and receivable when you do business with the city of Crown Point. You'll be able to have building permits online. You'll be able to do your customer service bill online when this is all completed. This will make your customer experience with the city of Crown Point much better, much easier for you, and make it our employees have a much easier time to get this information disseminated and make sure it's done in a correct fashion. The employee portal side of this will be better HR employee processing. Again, accounts payable and receivable. Building, like I said, with the building permits. We'll interact with all our departments across the board. So just think about this. All the other stuff going on, we're having him lead this endeavor to build this thing from a new world, from scratch, to make sure it's matching what Crown Point does on an everyday basis. So again, I wanted to start this out tonight with, I believe, and I'm sure every department that's here tonight would agree with this, Adam Graper leading us the way through the next level of technology for the city of Crown Point, doing it by a one-man band with a little bit of help from the side. Adam Graper, let's give him a round of applause. So the theme of a one-person department is going to continue here. The next person we're going to recognize, and where's Karen Marvin at? Karen, please stand up. She's all the way in the back right there. Karen. Karen literally is a one-person show, okay? Karen is responsible for caring for over 500 members in our health insurance plan. These are our employees, spouses, and dependents. She goes above and beyond for every claim, treats it as of her own, make sure that, the treatment's going to be scheduled correctly, the outcome for our employees who are working and maybe don't have the working knowledge of the health insurance world that's out there, that's ever changing each and every day. Karen stays on top of that and makes sure these employee benefits are taken care of. Last year, we want to recognize, and I believe Kelly Williams is in the audience here tonight as well. Kelly, if you're here, please stand up. I think I saw you earlier. Right here. We want to recognize Kelly because for the last 2 years, she was our in-house nurse practitioner. She's retired, but having this put in place saved our employees a tremendous amount of money with their HSA program, be able to go there and immediately have immediate care for your family, and we appreciate those efforts, Kelly, for the 2 years. Thank you very much. Enjoy your retirement as well. So, with Kelly being, telling us that she's going to retire, this is a big hole to fill. Okay, So Karen, we told her, hey, I said, I know you're not really doing much, right? You're just doing all these things with your 500 employees. We need to get out there and make sure that we replace Kelly. And we encouraged Karen to go out there and help secure a general practice health care program that Kelly was doing for us before. And Karen was able to do that with our great partner from Franciscan Health and make that happen for our employees going forward. So we plan on continuing this program. The city of Crown Point's partially self-insured, so we're responsible for the $1 one going out. And with a 500-plus member group, we're excited for two chapters here. For Kelly's next chapter in the retirement and the relationship that we have with our largest employer in the city of Crown Point. And I want to give Karen the thanks for making that deal happen for the city of Crown Point as well. Karen also coordinates our lunch and learn programs, which we do 4 times a year to get our employees together on our one roof and go through different things to make sure they're knowing their benefit plans, things that are happening in the city, just keeping them engaged. And these lunch and learns are for not only the employee but their spouse as well, so they're really involved with any of the healthcare changes that are out there. She also works with our health savings account challenges, open enrollments, and employee assistance programs. With our new agent of record that came in, Epic and Fifth Third, under Karen's leadership, we were able to streamline long and short-term disability, our life insurance and vision, workman's comp, and bundle that together and save money for the citizens of Crown Point and give better service to our employees. We also came in with new partners because it's difficult to find a TPA that's out there to do these things and bundle this package together. And we were able to do this, and we were fortunate to hire PBA administrators. And, again, PBA doesn't stand for the Pro Bowling Association. It stands for the Professional Benefits Administration. And with this merger, looking at this bundle package, we are looking at an estimated $200,000 savings on our overall plan based on previous claim experiences, based on how we bundle this with our new partnership with absolutely applaud that. That's a tremendous amount of savings that in a day that we save our taxpayer money. So Karen, thank you so much for all you do. Our police department, Police Chief Pete Land. Please stand, Chief, be recognized. If you haven't been following the news lately, the Crown Point Police Department was just recognized, or the city of Crown Point was actually just recognized through the leadership of the police department as the 4th safest community in the state of Indiana. We should absolutely applaud for that. That's 2 years running, and not believe it or not, but I just want to recognize the fact that when we start looking at the region, we look at Crown Point, but look at the region, 9 of the top 20 in the state of Indiana are here in your own backyard, Northwest Indiana. So we're live on Facebook. They're probably watching. Let's give all law enforcement a round of applause for what they do in each and every day to make you safe. We truly believe the fact that we're getting this recognition for all the hard work is because the police department is well educated, well trained, well informed about the changes in law enforcement and how they conduct business. Last year alone in 2018, the police department trained all their officers over 3,000 hours. That keeps them engaged. It keeps them with the best information that's out there so they can serve you and your community at the highest level. We're also making sure that we have more officers on the street. We hired 1 additional officer in 2018, and we're currently going through the process of 3 additional officers this year, which will give our department 48 police officers, the first time in the city's history as we continue to grow, to make sure that we're reinvested in public safety. We couldn't do this, though, without some of the partnerships that are out there. We just came with an agreement with the school corporation, and so we're going to take this group of fine trained officers and make sure that we're engaged with our schools, and we're going to be we had 1, but now we're going to have 4 school resource officers at our schools. And let's put our hands together for the school corporation that's here tonight, Dr. Teresa Hyman, Chip Pettit, and Dave Orney and your team, and working with the city of Crown Point to make this happen. One of the other things that we believe we're doing well out there is the police department, for the first year of measuring, are on a 12-hour shift. That means we're able to put more officers on the street in a given time. The number of officers on patrol are higher, and that has resulted in obviously more calls for service. The citizens of Crown Point, they call upon the police department or involved with any accidents or traffic stops. And I just want to share a few stats with everybody here today. For the second year in a row, the calls of Crown Point have increased. Obviously, our population is going up, so there's more opportunity to interact with the police department. Notably, though, calls for battery, assaults, burglaries, or violent crimes all went down. Service went up for calls, but our violent crimes went down. And we attribute that to we made more traffic stops in 2018, more than we did in 2017. We increased traffic stops by more than 20%. That interaction with those traffic stops yields more visibility, interaction with people, and the chief would probably agree with this, and the officers in the room here, that interaction like that, maybe for a simple violation or just a stop that you're going to warn somebody for maybe a vehicle malfunctioning, sometimes leads into the people that are wanting or trying to scope the community out to do something wrong, and they catch those people because they're wanted on a warrant somewhere else. And the simple traffic stop, by just being proactive out there, eliminates a lot of the stuff we just talked about to keep those stats moving down. So being active is very important. Our warnings went up, and our tickets were not as much as our warnings. So our guys aren't out there writing tickets, okay? They're trying to interact with the community in a positive way to let you know that, hey, maybe you need to slow down a little bit or fix something on your car. Also, we hear a lot of information out there. There's a lot of traffic in Crown Point, okay? And there is. And we're going to talk about that here later in the state of the city. But I also want to let you know from 2017 to 2018, traffic accidents went down, okay? So again, preventative measures, getting in front of that driver that maybe been doing something that's out of normal, having them slow down a little bit, or just seeing the interaction of the police officers out there being visible, whether it's at the school, whether it's on the street, park the car at their neighborhood where they live. That works to keep crime down in your city. So with that, we talk about other things they do in the department. They're involved in community policing programs. Having these extra officers available puts us in an ability to partner with other task forces out there, and when we do that, we bring additional seizure money in, and those seizure money goes into helping to pay for additional bulletproof vests, additional computers, helps with our drone program, car equipment, and things of that nature. Other things that we do to save, when we buy vehicles for our police officers, we're very cautious about the types of vehicles and make sure they're going to be safe and a good tool for their craft. But we buy E85 vehicles, and the reason we do that, not so much it's cheaper because at the pump, because there's been stories out there that they get less gas mileage, is that we partner with an E85 grant, and we did this a few years ago, which brought $295,000 to the city of Crown Point to pay for vehicles with E85. So our police department uses those cars to save money for gas purchases that normally would come off the books if you had a different type of vehicle. And ultimately, that's a savings that we put back to the community and put back into hiring more police officers. So let's put our hands together. Great job, Chief. Another division within our public safety division is our EMA division, and we had two directors, one that just recently stepped down to be with his family and had just recently got married and had a baby and took some time away because this is more of a volunteer group. I want to put your hands together for our former director, Quinn Wentz, and our now director, Mike Wasaki. If they're in the room, please stand and be recognized. Mike. Again, and today at the Board of Works, we just not hired, but we just added to the roster 2 additional volunteers for this group. And again, I say this is volunteers, guys. They go out, last year, a department of 12 go out and volunteer, put in 2,400 man hours last year. And and they help with chamber events, patrols, funerals, special events, emergency call-outs requested by police, fire, or even NIPSCO. That's a small group, and they can be out there for an hour or 8 hours, and their compensation for this is $20. They don't do it for the money. They do it for giving it back to the community. And if there's weather events out there, so if you get a weather report out there that there is a warning in effect, they send their team out, and they're trained to be spotters, so they're watching the skies live, so we can get that information before you hear it from somebody else, so we can sound those tones in case there's a situation. So that through the leadership of Mike, they were able to do that. They're a proud owner of a new home in the city of Crown Point. We repurposed the building on 590 Anderson Street. This was a combination of the volunteers and some of our trades that came in to help partner and make this a reality. And so that's their new home. It looks nice, and this year we're going to have an open house to recognize where they're at, get to know your EMA personnel a little bit better, and who knows, based on what we're hearing previously with all the volunteerism that goes on, maybe somebody else can want to step up and help out in those capacities. So, from Quinn to Mike, the baton was passed. Congratulations, Mike, and your department. Finishing up our public safety division is our fire department, and Fire Chief Dave Crane. Please stand and be recognized. Crown Point Fire Rescue currently has 34 firefighters. It's the ultimate high in their department as well. Last year alone, they went on 4,730 calls for service in 2018. 3,569 of those were ambulance calls. 1,161 for other calls, and those are like your fire calls, accident scenes and things of that nature. Many different functions that they do where they're interacting with the community itself. All those calls, they only had 52 calls for building fires that were buildings on fire. Only 52. And I say that that may sound like a lot, but those damages, because our fire department response time can get to those things and prevent property damage loss, save lives. And of those 52 fires, only had $700,000 of damage. Okay? That's 32% the national average in property losses for our size fire department. So tremendous, tremendous response time. These guys are well trained, and we get right into training with 18,000 combined training hours for our 34 paramedics and firefighters. These are general fire duties. These are EMS technical trainings, K9, dive team. They also spent hundreds of hours working with the outreach and education program of the Citizens of Crown Point. They're very much involved in the K-5 with over 1,800 students learning about what a fireman does and what they do each and every day through paramedics or fighting fires. They teach bicycle and helmet safety. They recently just put on in 2018 how to cross the street. They did a stop, look, and listen program that was live on Facebook. Fantastic, followed by many, okay, because we are a community where we encourage pedestrian-style opportunity in walking through our downtown. They provide information on first aid and household hazards. So collectively, between the police, the EMA, and the fire department, they do a great job of making sure that you guys have one of the best qualities in Northwest Indiana for a home purchase or a business purchase to keep you guys safe and secure and protect your property values. Let's give Dave Crane and the fire department a round of applause. One final touch about our public safety division, as working with our city council and working with our department heads from both of these divisions, we are very competitive in our salaries. We believe we have one of the best packages that are out there. We pay for our certification. We have the best medical insurance out there, the best workman's comp. If any of these men and women get hurt on the job, they do not lose a paycheck. They get paid 100% until they come back to the streets. They have the best equipment that's out there. And with our pension reform, we believe that they have the best pension, not only in Northwest Indiana, but one of the best ones in the state. And that's our commitment to those public safety officials each and every year. Our Parks and Recreation and Special Events administers Jenny Burgess and Diana Bossa. I believe there's Jenny. And where's Diana? Diana, where you at? There, she's over there. I think she's looking for the trolley. Okay. We did something last year as we were starting to look to consolidate and making sure that we're maximizing your taxpayer dollars. We merged these departments together because a lot of the events or parks programs interact with one another. So we wanted to make sure that the personnel that was on either side, that we maximize those talents and maximize our labor force to give the best ability for those parks programs and special events on both sides. By that merger, we were able to combine their departments general fund dollars, and then also have them become more of a revenue-based department. Jenny is in charge of running a 95-acre sports complex. I'm sure you're familiar with this on North Street. It houses our football, our youth soccer, lacrosse, softball, baseball. We have training, we have practices, we have a lot of different coaching interactions out there. This is a huge economic driver for the city of Crown Point. And for the region itself. We fill hotels in Maryville. I see this in each and every year, and I'll say it this year until we get our very first hotel, which is on the horizon. Maryville and Hobart need to send us a Christmas cards every year because we fill their hotels. And I believe Sparrow would agree to that. But our shops in our region, our shops in our city, we can all, the way we're dressed here today, we can go out and frequent our restaurants, our shops, and different things. And nobody would really know if we're out of town or we're from Crown Point dressed like this. But the biggest thing we have that's out there, when these business owners and restaurant owners come to us and say, hey, listen, we're going to have a large tournament here. You might want to be ready. And at first, when this thing first opened up, like, sure. And all of a sudden, when they sell out on a Monday or Tuesday night and they can't have any product for their weekend, they get a little panicky, okay? And they're able to measure that because those athletes walk in with their name across their chest from where they're from. They might be from out of state and from Kentucky, Michigan, Wisconsin. There might be some just regional teams. There might be some things just in the state of Indiana. When they see those kids come in and their families dressed in those uniforms, they immediately believe and see the impact of what happens with our sports complex. Bulldog Park opened December 22nd. And by the look of the crowd here, if you are a participant there, I don't see anybody on crutches, so you guys survived, okay, and you were out there skating. But we had over 17,000 skaters from December 22nd to our close on March 10th. We brought in $114,000 of revenue in that short period of time, and our expenses with running all the electricity, the chiller, the concessions, the employees, the unknowns. We didn't know what we know until we were expected until our first real season of hockey or open skating, family-style activities were going on there. We made $44,000 of profit, okay? Absolutely. And those were the months because those are going to be the most expensive operational costs for that facility. So we're really excited what's going to take place here in the spring, summer, and fall when it's open air with concert series and things like that going on, car shows, your farmers market, which we're adding another farmers market night. We're going to do it on Wednesday and Saturday mornings because we have the ability to do that because we don't have to close the square down to do that. And we can just begin to give you guys more opportunity to come out and interact and buy goods and services or showcase our community for those tourism dollars and compete for those things to come back to Crown Point. One of the most exciting things that is about Bulldog Park is the business community itself has seen the impact of what takes place here and how the community's embraced this program. And we'll see later with the video on some of these interacting events that take place at Bulldog Park. But I want to tell you that right now that we had over $1.25 million of sponsorship dollars to come into this facility over the next 5 to 10 years, led by Franciscan Health as our number one provider, providing us $1 million over the next 10 years, $100,000 for each and every year, just to put programming and to keep the cost down for our residents at Crown Point. Congratulations to all our sponsors that were part of that. And those sponsors, besides being Franciscan Health, Indiana Beverage, D&L Woodwork, ARC, Horizon Bank, Oak Partners, Purdue Federal, Mark Muskowski State Farm, and I'm here to tell you, we got more room on those dasher boards for you business owners to come in and play a big part of that, okay? But those things help us keep the cost down. It's $3 to skate. You can skate as long as you want all day long. $3 to get skate rentals. $3 to get a skate aid. It's very inexpensive, and we are the most inexpensive ice rink in Northwest Indiana. And we're going to continue to do that because of the commitment and the underwriting for those businesses and the other ones we're going to attract going forward. So let's put our hands together for those sponsorships. Thank you for making that happen. Special events, again, led by Dinah Bossa. She had over 20 events conducted through her office. And Dinah has an intern, so she's like one person and a half that helps out. And then we go into our resources of our Parks Department and Labor. But some of the events that took place was our annual St. Patrick's Day festivities, farmers market, our car cruise, which our car cruise is about 200 cars on every Thursday night. Our citywide picnic, and we want to say thank you to NIPSCO for being our title sponsor. That helps provide free food, picnic, fellowship to our community, which also provides live entertainment. Oktoberfest, our tree lighting, tank lighting ceremonies, our tour of lights, which you have to get in advance because it sells out. And when I say by sell, it doesn't cost you anything, but you have to reserve to get those buses that take you around. And we do the Griswold tours out there, right? The best looking houses out there. We're still waiting for somebody to do 25,000 lights. So the challenge is out there, but it's really, really receptive to that winter months. And again, these are all free family fun events. So collectively through our parks and our special events, they do a great job to bring amenities and bring our community together, to meet new neighbors, and really showcase the community to the people who don't live here that may eventually plant their flag here and raise their family. Let's put our hands together for a great job in 2018 for our special events and Parks and Recreation. Public Works Department, led by our Director, M. Scott Rediger. Where's Scotty Rediger at? Scotty. Stand up, Scotty. Scotty's in charge of 60 full-time employees that make up our street department, our utility department, our maintenance department, engineering and wastewater treatment plant. They're responsible for 146 miles of roads, 6 more miles than last year. In addition to that, they maintain our water mains, our sanitary sewers, our storm sewers, public utilities that are in charge of through the city of Crown Point. And they had over 33 weather events this past winter. Okay, they were ripping and running many, many days in a row. Now, let me just tell you something. When we go out for one weather event, our entire crews will go out. They're on these roadways. They average 2,000 miles on one weather event with all our vehicles. Think about that. It snows here. It's like taking the entire crew to Florida and coming right back. Okay? But they do it here. Every event puts that much strain and responsibility, and it's challenging sometimes. You know, as a mayor, a lot of people ask me, what is the most difficult part about the job? And I'll say right now, it's Mother Nature. It's so unpredictable. We can have a great winter. We can have a bad winter. We can have a really cold stretch of winter. We saw that earlier this year. We can have an extremely hot summer. We can have thunderstorms, wind shears come through. I mean, many, many different things. Flooding. It's very difficult to predict your budget, what Mother Nature may do. And it's ever changing. I mean, I really believe our months are changing. We're getting into summer later, getting into winter later. Winter wants to hang around longer. I mean, so we've really got to program what we do. And Scotty does a great job of trying to, through his crystal ball and his team, to kind of make sure that we're covered each and every year. They're also, again, they're very involved in our water quality. And that's a very top priority for the citizens of Crown Point because that's a huge commodity. There's a lot of communities nationwide that would covet the water that we receive here in Crown Point. Last year, we had over 920 millions of gallons of water registered through our system in the city of Crown Point. We're currently going through a $19 million upgrade to our water infrastructure system. This will include additional water tanks. We have 3 now that have been in service for about 20 to 25 years. We cannot take those offline without impacting our ratepayers because we would have to buy water during peak period times during the day. So we have made a conscious decision to work with our city council through the Board of Works to make sure that we're reinvesting in your commodity, which is water, for the next 3 decades. We'll have 6 total tanks, so we can be able to fill those tanks up and buy it more at the off-peak times. And we're able to take a tank down without any loss of service. We'll add additional chlorination stations. We'll make sure that there's looping systems throughout the city for fire protection. We're going to make sure that we're taking and working with a partnership with our residents through a program that's initiated that you can have your lead line-based water lines from the actual meter to your home be replaced. All these things will fully save citizens of Crown Point and keep your property values higher. So, but mostly that's the underground stuff. It's not glamorous, is it? It's always the roads. Okay, the roads are probably the most talked about topic in the citizens' mind because you drive it and you see it each and every day. Last year, Public Works paved over 6 miles of roads. That's up 3 times from our year with our new way that we go out there. And I never talk about being popular with a tax, but the wheel tax was put out there, and you're seeing the efforts of that. We were able to triple the amount of roads All right, our goal is eventually to get to 10 miles a year. And why I say 10 miles a year, I just told you that we have 146 miles of roads in the city of Crown Point. Every road lasts about 15 years. We need to get to 10 so we can do that cycle every 15 years and get you a new road. The old days, you might not see a road for 45 years. That's unacceptable, and we're working to work with our council to make sure that continues to go forward. So that really is something that's really been looked at as a new revenue source, and we put 100% of those collected dollars for that wheel tax right into your roads. It goes for nothing else but improvements. They did 13,000 feet of curbing, over 100,000 yards of milling roads, 13,000 tons of asphalt surface, 6,000 feet of sidewalks, and this includes our downtown project, 88 new or replaced ADA ramps, and you saw the big improvement to the downtown to make sure the downtown shops are ADA compatible for our pedestrians who are going to frequent that downtown and support those businesses. So let's put our hands together for the Public Works. Great job. Last but not least, okay, our planning and building departments, led by administrators Joe Cash, Anthony Schleter. Please stand and be recognized. We'll start with our building first. 2018 was a record year for the city of Crown Point and building. They issued 886 permits, and these are your decks, remodels, pools, and new construction. Residential housing, 188 single-family homes, 68 multifamilies. These are owner-occupied homes for a collective 256 new units with a collective new AV of $75 million. Just on homes. Our average new home in the city of Crown Point is $336,000. Last year was $279,000. That's a 17%, okay, increase in quality, not quantity. Quality homes in the city's inventory. And those quality homes are the homes that you see through the real estate market share out there that preserve our property values, increase other people's property values, or get them to go out there and remodel their homes to keep their values strong. I want to share something interesting here with you guys. And everybody says Crown Point is building, and we are. We're building, you know, we have the subdivisions everywhere that are still being built out in the city of Crown Point. Subdivisions is Penn Oaks, White Hawk, Allendale Farms, Schmidt Farms, Edgewater, Copper Creek, Feather Rock, Hamilton Square, the Highlands, Pentwater, Regency, Summer Tree, and Waterside, and Prairie View subdivisions. Those are a lot of subdivisions. All those subdivisions you see that are growing out were platted to be built prior to the 2008 housing crash. They're in the books starting in 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, and 2007. The crash came, things slowed down. Those things are being repopulated. There's a lot of talk out there that we're growing way too fast under my administration. And I just want to set the record straight on that, if I have a moment. Under my administration, we've only seen Sawgrass, 75 homes, Cottage at Carroll Court, 16 homes, Greenview Flats, 10, and Brighton, 52. That's less than 150 units of potential. They're not even built yet. These are potential. So over the last 10, 12 years, we've averaged, on this math, about 11 new homes in the marketplace. We're just taking what was in inventory and making sure, because the entitlements are in play, they've been platted, and we're making sure the smart growth based on our comprehensive plan is matched and followed. And we just updated our comprehensive plan with our city council support and looked at the next 10 years of vision for the city of Crown Point. And we're sticking to that. Our plan commission does a good job. Our city council does a good job to look at those things. And you as a developer out there or a prospective business owner can find out zoning through Anthony and building permits costs through Joe Cash to make sure that you're getting the right information that's out there. The commercial side was record number this year. We did 30 million in 2017. We did 85 million of new commercial growth. Some of the highlights of that are South Lake YMCA, the community hospital, Birdie's Car Wash, Pita Pit, Chipotle, and Starbucks, to name a few. We had some major remodeling, the Kitty Academy on the corner of Main Street and Summit, Bethel Church remodel, all these remodeled. The Crown Theater is well on its way this year to reopening up. But probably the most talked about remodel in the city's 2018 coffee shops, watering holes, whatever you want to be at, was McDonald's. Okay? When is McDonald's going to reopen, right? I mean, you just thought you were going to take a meal away from everybody and they were going to eat again. But the partners at McDonald's did a good job to get that back up and running. They're doing fantastic there as well. And, you know, the tragedy of the Big Mac is no longer in play, okay? So it's good. But, again, collectively, between housing and our commercial corridor, over $160 million of new investment came through the city of Crown Point in 2018. And we had $108 million in 2017, so you're seeing a 52% increase in the AV, and that's very, very important, because as we start looking at the tax rates and the tax caps and different things like that, businesses create jobs. Businesses create opportunity out there for us to take additional tax dollars and reinvest in the things, the quality of life of our homeowners. Okay, we cannot always put it on the backs of our community-based residents, because it costs us more than we collect from you on services. So we need that balancing act, and that's where that comprehensive plan comes in play to make sure that the city is growing in the right areas with smart growth and things that will complement your quality of life as citizens of Crown Point. I do want to recognize quickly, because last year we had a competition of, and you guys had a chance to vote on the two most exciting businesses that came to Crown Point last year, and there was a tie. Off the Square Brewing and Coyne Veterinarian Center both tied last year. I just wanted to share a little bit of news between those two businesses. And then this is not to break the tie, because I still think after this conversation, they still may be tied. But Coyne Veterinarian was just recognized as the Hospital of the Year for excellent finishes, design, and overall plan by Hospital Design Competition by DMV 360. So built here in Crown Point, looks great on Broadway, recognized nationwide. Let's give Dr. Coyne and his team and his design team a great honor. Now, off the square, Dave and Phil, they didn't win an award like that, okay? But they did win an award, I was told, as the best hamburger in Indiana. So, yeah, absolutely, right? So, two businesses that won an award last year, two businesses still winning the national awards this year. Congratulations to both. I just wanted to share that. That was brought to my attention. Okay, off the square. I'm sorry. I heard that. Okay. So with that being said, we're going to watch a quick video, because I need to just get a water. Okay, and it's about 8 minutes, and then we're going to have closing remarks. And if there's still time, we'll take some Q&A based on some of the questions and answers that can be possibly done here. So please watch this 8-minute video about the success and the partnership the City of Crown Point has going.
2018 saw continued growth in the City of Crown Point, in population, in private development investment, in new home construction starts, and in city projects to improve the quality of life in our community.
Hi, my name is Carrie Napoleon, and I'm Managing Director of the Lake Courthouse Foundation. Crown Point's downtown is part of what makes the city unique. The historic buildings downtown are an important draw for people to come and shop, dine, and even live here in the city. Public-private partnerships like the Facade Grant Program are encouraging businesses to redevelop their storefronts and return their facades back to the historic significance. The city continues reinvesting money as well in the downtown community. The new sidewalks are going to make the area more pedestrian friendly, and the Bulldog Park will bring more visitors to the downtown that will increase foot traffic for all the shops and restaurants to benefit. This is an exciting time to be in Crown Point.
2018 marked the construction start and partial opening of the city-driven Bulldog Park. This landmark public recreation space is another anchor to the downtown district, driving community activity and economic development in the community. Bulldog Park features an outdoor, sheltered recreation and competitive ice rink, an outdoor festival plaza, the Crown Point Parks Department headquarters office, and a community center. Bulldog Park is sponsored by Franciscan Alliance.
As Crown Point's largest employer, Franciscan Health believes it is a privilege to serve the citizens of Crown Point and its surrounding community. We offer many important programs and services of high level, such as our trauma, neonatal ICU, stroke, and neurosurgery programs. In addition, we have always supported the Crown Point community through ongoing investments in our infrastructure and involvement in community programs and organizations. Most recently, a partnership with Mayor Yoran and the city in our sponsorship of the new Bulldog Park. You see, a healthier community can become a reality when businesses and government leaders earnestly work together to serve its citizens. We are honored to be Crown Point's hospital of choice, and we look forward to helping the city and the community be the best they can be and thrive well into the future.
As the city has grown, the need to add additional water supply capacity was put into place with the design of a second 3 million gallon ground level storage tank at the city's 96th Avenue water pump station. It's here where the city receives its Lake Michigan water supply from Indiana American Water Company, and then pumps and distributes water to homes and businesses for consumption and fire protection. The $19 million project is scheduled to be complete in the next 2 years.
Our water resource infrastructure, which in large part resides underground, is out of sight and usually out of mind. It's often only when failures occur that we're reminded of how dependent we are. Our well-maintained public drinking water, wastewater, and stormwater infrastructure is critical to public health, strong businesses, and clean rivers, streams, lakes. Unfortunately, the pace of investment in our nation's water, wastewater, and stormwater utilities have not been keeping up with the need. As a result, pipes leak, construction of new facilities are delayed, and the cost to operate and maintain existing utilities rise. To prevent and offset these negative consequences requires action. Over the last 4 years, the City of Crown Point has directed and completed 3 master planning documents for water, wastewater, and stormwater utilities. The city has been able to put themselves in a position to receive grants and low interest rate loans for necessary infrastructure improvements. With respect to the city's stormwater utility, public input was sought with respect to flooding areas of concern. The city is now well positioned for improvement projects and the solicitation of 75% grant funding for their implementation, which will minimize the impact on the utility ratepayer. With respect to the wastewater utility, we have completed several projects associated with existing wastewater infrastructure that are already seeing a reduction in wet weather flow and a decreased cost of treatment. We are now positioned to identify public-private partnerships to provide the infrastructure needs of the future without significantly impacting existing ratepayers. With respect to the city's water utility, we're underway with phase 1 of a 2-phase project that will strengthen our level of service across the city. Water lines are being upsized and looped to provide pressures necessary for fire protection and to minimize any potential customer downtime. Existing storage tanks are also being repaired and new tanks incorporated to protect our ability to provide clean drinking water to our ratepayers. By taking a proactive approach with planning, the city was able to obtain a low interest rate loan along with grant funds dedicated to the replacement of old water service lines that otherwise would have had to be replaced by the individual homeowners at their expense. Most of us don't often contemplate how much we depend on the city's water resource infrastructure. The City of Crown Point takes the proactive steps necessary to maintain and upgrade water, stormwater, and wastewater utilities so their citizens can rest assured in the health and safety of these vital resources.
Located on the Franciscan Alliance Crown Point Health Campus is the new $35 million expansion of the South Lake YMCA, sponsored by the Dean and Barbara White Family Foundation.
I think one of the biggest determining factors on why Crown Point baseball continues to get stronger every year is that we were able to improve the play every year and the facilities every year. Last year we installed an indoor facility that allowed us to do off-season camps for all ages, hitting leagues, pitching leagues, and also gives us access to hosting bigger tournaments to bring in people from around the state and the region to play in Crown Point, which I think will be great. We have 700 players here in Crown Point playing baseball this year in the spring, and it impacts over 500 families, and we've heard nothing but rave reviews about how impressed they are with our facilities and what we've been able to do, and no question that we wouldn't be able to do without help from the city.
Community Hospital Stroke Rehabilitation Center is a 4-story, 129,000 square foot multi-specialty facility in Crown Point that will feature inpatient rehabilitation treatment along with physician practices, outpatient services, and immediate care for family health and wellness. Targeted completion is spring of 2019.
Crown Point has been a great community to cultivate and grow DVG's business. With its quality schools and parks, its growth-oriented infrastructure, a vibrant downtown, and strong city leadership, Crown Point has become a community of choice. New residents and new businesses have chosen to call Crown Point home. It has resulted in a qualified, skilled workforce and primary wage earning jobs. Our clients developing real estate in the city see these advantages for their business success. The past 10 years has been a special time in the development of the Crown Point community. And from what we see in the market, the next 10 years is expected to be even more special.
Beacon Hill District Development approved a $25.5 million TIF bond entirely backed by the developers of the Beacon Hill District that takes new tax increment created by the developers in the district to build public roads and utilities, including widening and landscaping of the 109th Avenue corridor from I-65 to Broadway. Construction of the first phase of these improvements began in 2018 and will be used to create new business sites. New businesses announced and opened in the Beacon Hill District in 2018 include Chipotle, Starbucks, Birdie's Car Wash, Tomato Bar Pizza, Lakeshore Bone and Joint Orthopedic Clinic, and Gloria Jean's Coffee.
Hi, I'm Todd Clevin, Vice President of the Diamond Peak Group. I've been a builder-developer in this community for the last 18 years. We choose cities like Crown Point to invest our capital in for reasons such as the friendly and knowledgeable administration, as well as the amenities throughout the community. Behind me is one of our latest projects located on the Broadway corridor, the 6,500 square foot multi-tenant building which will house Tomato Bar, Cousin Subs, and Small Cakes Dessert Shop. It's communities like this that are successful that ultimately make us successful. We look forward to many more projects within this community.
Progression of new neighborhoods within the city continued with 264 new homes in 2018, with construction in Copper Creek, Ellendale Farms, Regency, Sawgrass, Brighton, Hamilton Square, and Edgewater.
The City of Crown Point has been a major player in the development of amateur sports and family leisure travel all along the South Shore. It's a major driver in these two categories and helped us build this business during the past decade. Mayor Dave Uran and his team continually excel in promoting and building assets that help us do our job better at the South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority. Continue the great work, Mayor. You've got our support. You and your team are awesome. So from our team to yours, we look forward to many more years of building exciting destinations like the City of Crown Point. Thank you.
We're going to close this out here real quickly. I got some final thoughts on tonight's presentation. Just want to talk about, again, we highlighted 2018. Just want to talk about what's going to happen in 2019. Some great grand openings are going to be taking place. The South Lake YMCA grand opening will be the weekend of April 12th. Bulldog Park grand opening for the outdoor band shell and plaza area for the car shows, farmer markets, bands, all that week's going to be taking place. Scheduled for May 31st of this year. Very aggressive schedule, but we're going to get there as long as Mother Nature cooperates. 109th widening, phase 1 from Broadway, just shy of the ditch, is going to be started this summer as well. It's a 90-10 federal project. Road project and signalization on 125th and Main will be completed in 2019. 9 Mile to Court Street. We couldn't do this without our partnership without the YMCA and the Redevelopment Commission. And also a Highway Safety Improvement Grant 9010. Again, projects being supported not by the property tax payers of the citizens of Crown Point, but through other sources and means. Phase 2 of the pedestrian safety, accessibility, and ADA project for the downtown bump outs will take place starting tomorrow and will run all the way through May. Again, a 90-10 federal program. We also received a grant from the Dean and Barbara White Foundation for the courthouse portion of the sidewalks. And we also received a community block grant to also pay for this project. The public to private partnerships that take place with the citizens of the City of Crown Point, I-65 partners, will begin with the 109th Corridor, Delaware Parkway, 107th and 105th being taken care of in that area with a $25 million bond that will be paid for by the developers and not the citizens of Crown Point. And 109th we should clap this, 109th over the next 18 months, will get the needed changes for accessibility through that corridor. Our financial outlook for the city, The city just concluded, minus post-monitoring phases, a separation of our combined sewer and stormwater utilities. 2007, in August, there was a judicial ruling that a court order issued to the city of Crown Point prior to my taking office. When I first came in 2008, we were delivered a price tag of a $38 million mandate to separate our sewers and our stormwater over the next 10 years. $38 million unfunded mandate. Good luck. Day one. Enjoy. I'm happy to report that we were able to accomplish these goals, come up with a new process that works with the state of Indiana, and through grants and combined infrastructure projects, we completed this project in 10 years at a price tag of $18 million, saving the citizens of Crown Point, and the taxpayers, and the customers $20 million in this unfunded mandate. With that being said, we talked about earlier about reinvesting in our water, and we're going to do that. Our utilities have 2 times coverage or more of debt coverage, where 1.25 is what the minimum is required. Our utilities receive interest-free or AAA ratings of 2% or less. We're going to be doing this $19 million project at a 2% interest rate. The bankers in the room would understand this, right? You're going to collect 2% of additional money on top of that to pay your debt services. With the program with IDEM, we are one of the first 2 communities in the state of Indiana that will take the money that would go towards the interest rate and bring that money back home for our lead line replacement program to our residents. Basically, making this infrastructure process interest-free to the community. Taxpayers out there, if you have homes in the city of Crown Point, this is great news. We are making our final payment on the only one remaining general obligation bond the city of Crown Point has. We'll make a payment this year for $280,000. That means our property taxes for the citizens of Crown Point against their homes will have no debt currently going out there for general obligation bonds. We paid off our debt, folks. We're all excited about Bulldog Park. We're all excited about Legacy Fields and Center Ross Parks. This was paid through a combination of the Dean and Barbara White Foundation and our Redevelopment Commission, who takes TIF dollars and reinvest in Crown Point to make sure that our businesses have the opportunity to be successful. We create jobs, we create opportunity in Crown Point, and we preserve the property values with these legacy-type projects. The Redevelopment Commission, despite having some debt against these projects, and when I say debt, it's only 50 cents on the dollar because of the Dean and Barbara White Foundation. We're very fortunate to have these partnerships available. Still has 3 times coverages of the money they collect against the debt being paid out there. This allows us to have the best interest rates or pay these things off before the maturity dates are allowed being going out there. Over the last 10 years, the city has not overspent any of its annual approved budget, but we've taken the reserves that have been built up over the last 10 years and put in these supporting funds that are out there so that when we come out of the economy and the recession period that was out there, you've all seen the stock markets rise to record levels. You've seen feds lift the interest rates of the banking that's out there. So the money that we're able to do with our department heads and the creativity we talked about here tonight, we're able to put each and every year, the last 10 years, money in those accounts. Now, the first few years, doesn't happen so much when you're making very little money on the interest rates. But that collective balance keeps building up, and when the feds raise that rate, we're very poised to make sure that we have enough money in our accounts going forward. With that being said, we're in the best financial shape that this city's seen in the last decade. And one thing that we're more proud about is our tax rate. The tax rate that we have control on through the mayor's office and the city council, you as residents that are out there, is how we are able to support the departments we talked about here. I'm proud to say, based on assessed valuation and the growing factor of our community, we only collect 74 cents on every $100 assessed valuation. And why is that important? The average city in Northwest Indiana, from Lake, Porter, and LaPorte, have an average of $1.72. We are 2.5 times less than any other community in Northwest Indiana. And we're doing all the things we're doing with that rate. I'm going to continue to work with our city council to take our assets and continue to leverage and move our city forward. So we continue to have better roads. We continue to grow and provide assets to you as business owners, and make sure that the property owner who's invested here and put their flag here to raise their family have a better tomorrow than today in their values. That is our scorecard. And I will close with this. We have a tagline, building a stronger community from within. Building, we're doing that in Crown Point. Stronger, we're doing that by our financial net worth. And community from within, based on your attendance here tonight, you guys are what makes Crown Point within and having those things. So with our theme of Bulldog Park and hockey, that's a hat trick of any municipality. With that being said, this is the State of the City for 2019. Team effort. And we are poised to have the best year going forward for the next 3 decades based on the teamwork of everybody in this room tonight. Thank you so much. I'm honored to receive these applauds, but I'm telling you right now, I will share this with our team of our employees, our department heads, you as residents of this community and business owners. That applause is meant for you more than it is for me. Thank you for coming out tonight. I will stay after there's any comments or questions. We're able to do that. If not, you don't have to go home. You can stay and network, but thank you for coming out and being part of this. Thank you, Diversified Marketing. Thank you, Nicola, Northwest Indiana Media, Jonathan Gross, all the people that played a part here tonight, Adam Graper and his team. WJOB, thank you for streaming this live. And good night, Crown Point.